Hola, acá Nico. Welcome to another video with Spanish with Nico. Here, in today's video, I'm gonna teach you the pronoun se and all the uses of this pronoun. In Spanish, the pronoun se can be really confusing because it has too many meanings, it has too many structures that you have to learn them all and you have to practice them a lot and use them in real life, which can be really hard and confusing if you don't know all the different contexts and you haven't practiced them enough. So if you're ready, let's start with this right now. So as you can see right here, this pronoun, the pronoun se in español, has four different meanings. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Four different meanings. The first is, we're gonna see them all. The first is as an indirect object pronoun. The second, as a reflexive pronoun. The third, it is used in impersonal sentences. And the fourth and the last one, it would be used as each other in very specific sentences. Now we are gonna learn all of them and we are gonna practice this a lot. So, señor, señora, caballero y señoritas, prepárense, get ready, and let's start. Okay, so here we have a sentence. The first example right here. This is, yo vendo manzanas a Juan. This means I sell apples to Juan. So right here, what we are going to do is to say the short way of this sentence. So you have two different ways. The first is I sell them to Juan. Or you can just say the shortest way possible would be I sell them to him. Him is Juan and them is the apples, right? So right here, before showing that and why it's so necessary to know this new pronoun se, I'm gonna tell you right here that we have two important things to know. The first is that manzanas refers to the direct object pronoun. Remember that the direct object pronouns are pronouns basically that refers to objects, that refers to things that receives the actions, okay? Just for things. This is the indirect object pronoun. And remember that the indirect object pronoun refers to people, but that receives the action. Indirect object pronoun, we do not use it with things. In this case, things are manzanas and people is Juan. So this one is the indirect object pronoun. This is the direct object pronoun because here this is a thing and this is a person. Okay, so if you want to learn more about this, in the description you will find a video in which I explain this with two different videos so you can understand this much better. Now the reason I'm telling this is because here is when it starts the hard part, let's say. Here is when it starts the interesting part. What is it? Okay, basically when we have to use se. So if we would like to say the short way of this sentence, we gotta say I sell them to him. Them apples, him Juan, okay, to him Juan. So let me show you how we can do it. So for making the short way of this sentence, remember that we have to follow this rule. First, the subject, that means the person, for example, yo, vos, él, ella, etc., I, he, she, you, etc. Then we continue with the indirect object pronoun, that means him, her, them, us, etc., plus the direct object pronoun, and then we got the verb, okay, in the following of the rest of the sentence. So we will follow this structure for making this type of short tenses. As I just told you, this is the indirect object pronoun. This is the blue, okay, blue color, and then we got the direct object pronoun, which is manzanas, which is the green color. So let's make this sentence, let's make this short sentence. And then we got the verb, of course, that is here. So we are going to start with the indirect object pronoun, that is Juan. And Juan will be him, right? So the way to make word him in Spanish is le, okay? Yo, le, I, him, yo, le, plus then the direct object pronoun, which is apples. In English would be them, right? I sell them to him. So we are going to say them, las, plus the verb. The verb in this case is el verbo vendo. Yo vendo. I sell them to him. You may be thinking this is pretty easy, right? Well, here we have a pronoun. What's the pronoun here? So this seems to be correct, but actually it is not. Why? For the simple reason that we can never ever say anything related to this type of sentence when we say le, las. We cannot say les, las, le, lo, le, la. We cannot say the pronoun le or les plus the direct object pronoun. We can never say it with this type of verb, this type of pronoun that start with an L. We can never say it. Le la, le lo, le la, etc. Why? Basically because it sounds weird. So the creator of Spanish back in the day, 1,000, 2,000 years ago, he said, oh, sounds extremely weird. So let's exchange or replace the L, the first L for a C. So the right way will be se, okay? We are not gonna say le. The right way is yo. Se las vendo, just because it sounds weird. So let me write it here, so now you can always apply this rule that I just taught you. So whenever we have le, les, plus, la, las, lo, or los, we cannot say this. So we cannot say this. Nope, it's incorrect. So what we are going to say is se, la, las, lo, los. Okay, that's the right way. And now, as I just told you, here we had le, which is him. We had las, which is apples. As we cannot say le las because it sounds weird, we cannot have two L's on the same sentence, two words that start with L, two pronouns that start with L in the same sentence. So we just gotta change the first L for a se. Okay, right here as you can see it. So now let's see some other examples and then let's continue with the second case of the pronoun se. So here we have another example right here. Let me show you. Ella da comida a los perros. Ella da comida a los perros, okay? A los perros, to the dogs. So this is she gives food to the dogs, okay? So here it is exactly the same. Comida is the direct object pronoun because the direct object pronoun refers to things, and comida is a thing that receives the action of the verb give. And then the a los perros is the indirect object pronoun, and this is the indirect object pronoun because dogs in Spanish are subjects, or let's say they are people, kind of like people. They are beings, they are animals, so still they are kind of like people, okay? So this food is the thing that receives the action of the verb give. The dogs are the people or the animals that receive the action of the verb give. Now, how would you say she gives it to them? She gives it to them. Remember the short way of this type of sentences. The short way is the subject, ella, then the indirect object pronoun, which is los perros, and then the direct object pronoun, which is the comida. So let me write it here. Ella, le, then la, because this is la comida, and then the verb, which is da. Ella le la da. Ella les la da. As you can see, ella les is the dogs and la is la comida. Here, again, we have exactly the same type of problem. As I told you, we cannot say le plus las, lo, los. Or in this case, we're gonna say les plus la. We cannot say it. So here we have to eliminate this one. We have to erase this one. And we just replace the les for this new pronoun, which is se. And this is still the same. Ella se la da. She gives it to them. In this case, to him or to them. In this case, the dogs. Okay? So this one is very simple, right? Now that you can see this, you can understand this much better. So now let's see one more example that will be a little bit harder and see how it is for you. So now we have here the last example of this case. So here we have yo doy botellas a los chicos. I give bottles to the boys, to the guys over there. So let's see the pronouns on this sentence. Yo doy, I give, then botellas. Botellas is the direct object pronoun because botellas means bottles, and this refers to objects, things. The direct object pronoun refers to objects or things that receives the action of a verb. In this case, the verb to give. A los chicos is to the guys, to the kids, to the boys. So in this case, it is the indirect object pronoun. That means people or animal that receives the action of a verb. In this case, the verb to give. So in this case, we have to say, I give them the apples. I give them the apples to them. To the guys, to the boys, okay? So let's see this. It's a bit harder, but let's see how it is. So we firstly start with I, right? Yo. Then remember the short way of this type of sentences. Then we continue with the indirect object pronoun, that is the guys. So we are going to say yo les, because this means them, yo les. And then we say the direct object pronoun, that is botellas. Yo les las, and the verb doy. Yo le las doy. Now, again, we have exactly the same type of problem. Yo les las, we cannot say les las. So what we are gonna say is just replace this les for se. Okay, for this pronoun, se. Why? Because we cannot say les plus las. Les las. We cannot say that, so we are gonna say yo se las doy. Yo se las doy. I give them to them. I give the bottles to the guys. If you will travel to Argentina soon, you have to learn Spanish. You have to keep up to date on what's going on in Argentina, what's happening in Argentina. And you gotta practice your Argentinian Spanish and you have to learn it. So I would like to invite you in my Telegram group. You will be informed on what's going on in Argentina. You can practice your Spanish with me. You can learn Argentinian Spanish. You can ask me questions and you can practice your Spanish with everyone over there. So if you will come here to Argentina, you gotta join my Telegram group right now. What are you waiting for? Come on, link in the description. Okay, now let's see the second case. When we use the pronoun se as a reflexive pronoun. What is a reflexive pronoun? Basically, this type of pronouns are this one, the ones that you're seeing here with these colors. Yo, me, te, se, nos, se. Now, you may be wondering, when do we use this type of pronoun? When exactly we are gonna use these pronouns or this type of new words when we have the reflexive verbs. What is a reflexive verb? Basically, the reflexive verbs are the verbs that change its meaning and that change their conjugation when you add a se at its ending. So for example, remember that reflexive verbs, you will see a video on my channel about this. The reflexive verbs change its meaning. For example, this is the verb to go, it means to go. And here we got the other one, which is irse, means to leave. We have lots of different reflexive verbs. That is basically, as you can see this, in Spanish, so you just gotta learn them all and see how they work. But in this video, I'm gonna teach you how it works in this case. So for example, the verb ir, if you wanna say I go, you would say yo voy. Okay, yo voy. I go, yo voy. Then if you would like to say I leave my house, you would say yo. We see it here, yo me, because these are reflexive verb, these are the conjugation of reflexive verb. So we are going to say yo me voy, I live, okay? These are the conjugations of the reflexive verbs, okay? If you want to say I live, you say yo me voy. You live, vos te vas. Él, ella, usted, he, she, or you formal live, you would say él, ella, usted se va. Nosotros nos vamos, we leave. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se van. Ellos, ellas, they, y ustedes, you all, and then se van, leave. Okay? So that's the way we make for all of these type of reflexive verbs. So let's see an example now with this one, with the third person singular and the third person plural. Okay? Here. So with this subject, with he, she, and you formal, and then with they and you all, we are going to use se. We are going to add se in these reflexive verbs. Okay? So for example, if you would like to say, he goes now, you are going to say, él va ahora. Él va ahora. He goes now. Then he lives now, you will say, él. We see that here we have the pronoun se, so we are going to say, él se plus the verb va. Él se va. Él se va ahora. He lives now. So here you can see it doesn't really mean anything. It's just an auxiliary. It's something that we add to make a new meaning, to make a new sentence, to make a new verb. Okay? So, él va ahora, he goes now. Él se va ahora. And here we got the pronoun se. Remember that in Spanish we have many different reflexive verbs. So I'm just gonna show you one more and then we continue with the third case that we use this type of pronouns. So here, for example, the verb ver y verse. Ver y verse. Ver means to see, as you know, it means to see, and then verse means to look like something, to seem to be something. Okay, so if you say, for example, he looks TV, you would say, él ve la tele o la TV, ¿no? El ve la TV o la tele. En Argentina we say tele, el ve la tele. And then if you say, he looks like Messi, he looks like Nico, you are gonna say, él se ve, and then él se ve plus como, like, él se ve como Messi, o él se ve como Nico, él se ve argentino, él se ve triste, he looks sad, él se ve feliz, he looks happy. So as you can see here, we have this new pronoun that is se. In this case, we use it to make this type of sentences. We use it in this context to make this verb, the verb verse, that means to look like, okay? Now here we have the third context, the third use of the pronoun se. So the name of this case is called impersonal sentences, or in Spanish, oraciones impersonales. That basically means that we use this type of sentence to make sentences that are performed not by a person in specific, not by someone being specific, just like as a general, like everyone does it, or someone that we don't know in a specific context. Let me show you an example so you can understand this much better. For example, when we in English say, it is said that Argentina is a big country. Who says that? Who says that? Like, tell me a person. No, it is said, like everyone, or it's in general, people generally say that Argentina is a big country, okay? So this type of sentences is an impersonal sentence, okay? When we say that, or for example, it cannot be done. It cannot be done. Who cannot do it? Who cannot do it? It cannot be done. Like, but I mean, who is doing that, okay? Who cannot do that? Like everyone. Okay, so again, it's a general sentence. It refers to everybody. It is not performed by one person specific. It's an impersonal sentence. It refers to everyone. So let me show you here some examples of this when we use it in Spanish. The first, for example, se dice que. This means it is said. Se dice que. It is said that. For example, I can say Messi is the best player in the world. It is said that Messi is the best player in the world. Okay, so you can say, se dice que Messi es el mejor jugador del mundo. Messi es el mejor jugador del mundo. Okay, very simple, right? The second, se puede, blah, blah, blah. In this case, it would be like, it can be done. It can be done. Or you can say, it is permitted, it is allowed. But it's normally, it can be done, okay? For example, we can say, in Argentina, a lot of trips can be done. So the way we can say this in Spanish is, en Argentina se pueden hacer o se puede viajar mucho. En Argentina se puede viajar mucho. In Argentina, a lot of trips or to travel can be done. Okay? Se puede. For example, let me show you another example. Acá se puede comprar mucho yerba mate. Here it can be comprar. So in this case, you can say it can be bought a lot of mate herbs, okay? Se puede comprar. It can be bought, or it can be done. In this case, I'm using comprar, so it would be, it can be bought. Acá se puede comprar mucha yerba mate. Se hace. This one means it is made, or you can say done. It is made or done. For example, we can say, in United States, it is made, or it's made Tesla cars. En Estados Unidos, se hacen, we add and just because it is plural, because we are going to say cars, okay, carros, autos. So we can say, en Estados Unidos se hacen los autos Tesla. In United States, it is made the Tesla cars, okay? It's made Tesla cars. Se hace. So here we have two more examples. This is se vende and se sabe. Se vende is it is sold, it is for sale, and se sabe is it is known. So for example, if you're on the street and you would like to find a place to buy yerba mate, so you have to ask someone about it. So you would say, hola señor, ¿usted sabe dónde se vende yerba mate? That means, hello sir, do you know where yerba mate is sold, is for sale? Okay, very simple, right? So you can say the same. It is sold, it is for sale. Then se sabe is it is known that something. Se sabe que blah blah blah. So for example, we can say se sabe que Argentina es un país con muchísimos futbolistas muy buenos. That means it is known that Argentina is a country with many good football players. Okay, it is known that Argentina is a country with many good football players. So this is the third case. I think this one is pretty simple, more or less simple. So now let's see the last case that we use the pronoun se. So here we got the last context, the last case that we use, or the last use of the pronoun se. And it is when we use it as each other in very specific tenses, in very specific cases. So for example, when we say nosotros, nos, plus a verb, for example, when we say we love each other, we and each other, okay, in the same sentence, we and each other on the same sentence, we would say nosotros, nos, and then let's say any verb, for example, the verb love, the verb to watch, mirar, the verb to like we like each other, we watch each other, we love each other, etc. For example, the verb amar, nosotros nos amamos, nosotros nos amamos. This means we love each other. Nosotros nos amamos. So in this context, nos refers to each other. Specifically when we say we and then each other. Okay, so this is the type of the structure. This is the structure that we have to use. So this, we can translate this, we love each other. We love and each other would be nos in this case, right? Nos, aquí, nos. For example, if we, instead of saying we love each other, we can say look at each other, we see each other, would say nosotros nos vemos, right? We look at each other, we see each other. So it will be we see or look each other, okay? In this case, the same, each other is nos, okay? It refers to nos. Then if you would like to say they look each other, they see each other, they love each other, etc., you will have to use se. This is the first case of this pronoun, the pronoun se. Okay, so for example, ellos o ustedes, they or you all. For example, again, love, you would say aman. They love each other. Ellos se aman. They love, for the first case. And in the second case, that is exactly the same, but we just use a new subject, which is ustedes, you all. If you would like to say you all see each other, you would say ustedes se ven, ustedes se miran. You all look each other, you all see each other, so we can translate it as you all see or watch or look each other. Okay, so basically that's all. All of these 4 different cases. That's all. I think it is more or less simple, but you just gotta work on this a lot. You just gotta speak. You have to speak a lot with this, with the real people, with a teacher, with a tutor, with somebody that can actually help you with this, and you can make your brain get used to it. So I would like to tell you that this channel, Spanish with Nico, is a channel specifically to learn Spanish and Argentinian Spanish in specific. So if you would like to come here to Argentina, you have to subscribe to this channel. If you would like to learn Argentinian Spanish, learn Spanish in specific too, why not? You have to subscribe to this channel and see all my videos. In this channel you will find a full course Spanish for beginners, Argentinian podcast where you can practice your Argentinian Spanish, and much more. So thank you very much for watching this. And if you would like to ask me any question, you can write it on the comments if you would like to understand this much better. So thank you very much for watching this, and see you in another video. Nos vemos. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for watching this video. If you are a beginner and you want to learn Spanish, my book, Mini Stories to Learn Spanish Beginner's Guide, is available on Amazon. If you are looking to learn Spanish to visit Argentina with my program, you can do it. All the details are in the description. Thanks for watching.